Set in 1931 in Oregon during the Great Depression. Two twins named Sam and Lily want to discover how their mother died. They know their father is hiding something about the Queen of Bones! Bones! Yeah! They must have 3 artifacts in order to discover the hidden truth. Sam wants to protect his sister who is becoming a woman. Oh no. And we have some creepy stuff by Martin Freeman. Oh, seriously. Bones! The Queen of Bones! Was directed by Robert Bordeaux, who did Stockholm and some other projects, and was also written by Michael Berger. There's a lot of strange names in this particular cast, and we have Jacob Tremblay, who plays Sam, who made the pants too long, who was in Before I Wake, and Luca. Actually, he's a really terrific voice actor as well as a good young actor, so I wish that young man nothing but the best. Speaking of those that are on the rise, you have Julia Butters, who was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Freakier Friday. She played Harper, so if you enjoyed her role in that, I don't know why, because the movie wasn't very good, check this out if you want. She plays Lily. They're twins. They lost their mother, and Martin Freeman is their dad. Martin Freeman, who really does play a terrific, weird, religious creep guy in this. They live in the woods of somewhere in Oregon. There's quite a bit of woods in Oregon, despite the fact that a lot of that state is built up. As of now, this is 1931 though, Great Depression, all that. There also is a family friend, so to speak, Ida May, played by the very talented and very pretty Taylor Schilling, who is in Argo and Orange is the New Black. You'll recognize what character she played when you see her. And yeah, it's from Vertical Entertainment, and basically has a folklore themed thing where the more they discover about their mother, maybe it turns out that somebody is not actually telling the truth about how she passed away. So that's pretty much it. It's on Amazon if you want to check it out, and that's a good thing because unfortunately, despite the atmosphere and despite the fact it's well shot and the performances are decent, this movie is boring as hell. It has an obvious conclusion and reveal, and while I don't think it is a terrible movie, boring is even worse, and that's unfortunately what this ends up being. So I'm going to get quickly into spoilers. It's on Amazon if you want to check it out. So 3, 2, 1, and there you go, spoilers. So there are also chapter breaks. There's an epilogue. It began with blood. Oh yes, there will be blood. Motherless Birthday is the first chapter. Lily realizes just in the prologue that, she starts bleeding. Oh no, she's becoming a woman. Girl, you'll be a woman soon. And essentially, as they're in the woods, there's a nice, setting here for some good atmospheric shots. And they end up killing a rabbit. Kill the wabbit, yo-ho-ho, yo-ho. And they make a rabbit stew as Lily ends up, kind of becoming more of the housewife type to take care of her father and also take care of her brother. Martin Freeman's character is a violin maker. He tells the story in heavy exposition. This movie is only like 83 minutes long, and there is a heavy amount of exposition. There is a line in this from In the Midst of Death, there is life. And then he basically wants Sam to make the prayer, so he tells him up, down, left, right, BA, start. I mean, he says up, down, left, right, but I just couldn't help but do the Konami code. And she keeps seeing her mother, she being Lily. There is a bit of a creepy teacher guy, Mr. Jensen. I mean, and nothing against the actor himself, it's just the way he presented it. He was like, she's really good as a violin player. Maybe I should take her to this school. She could do well. No, Martin Malcolm says. Martin Malcolm says. I'm just going to call him Martin Malcolm. Says, I'm going to send her to the convent because she's acting off. I mean, he doesn't say it to him, but there you are. And we get chapter 2. We get all the way to chapter 8. And then an epilogue. There's a lot of chapters in this, and unfortunately only about 3 of them are any good. There's a man named George. It's an albino, straight out of the Powder playbook. By the way, look up who played Powder. You might, feel a sudden urge to scour yourself with an SOS pad. So, Ida, Miss Clemens, she is somebody who basically says, "Oh, I have some of your old mother's effects that your your father-in-law had when he passed, and so it's sent to you." Everybody's being. There are a few boys that are being a little bit creepy. Well, George isn't necessarily being creepy towards Lily, but there are a couple other boys that are, and I go, this is just weird. There's a book of symbols. By the way, Lily has been seeing weird carved symbols in the woods, weird Wiccan stuff. And I want to know the truth, Sam. Why did you make the pants so long? I will stop doing that one of these days. You would not think I would make such an obscure reference. So, into the basement, they go to search for how to basically find the witch. They need a toad, they need a wolf skull, and they need an owl's feather. It's like a fucking Suikoden side quest. By the way, I can't wait for the Suikoden 2 anime series that apparently is going to come out that I will be checking out for sure if I can gain access to it. You take all three into the woods and meet the witch, and she'll make a potion. So you can see the hidden truth. Well, from there we just get more stuff. It's obvious that Ida is trying to make a move on Malcolm, essentially, or this has been a plot this whole time to get rid of Lily because Lily's acting more like the mother, and Malcolm is lonely. Maybe Malcolm had something to do with the death of the mother. I think he had a lot to do with the death of the mother, by the way. Even though there are certain things that are left unsaid, I think it's pretty obvious what he ended up doing. Sam basically finds info about the witch, but in order to do that, there's a character named Studs, I believe, and Averin. And if he helps, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. We'll help you find the witch. You are going to move some booze for us because, Prohibition may have actually been done by this point. For when Prohibition actually stopped, I think it stopped well before this, but it's bootleg whiskey, all that, so there you go. So they go into the woods and they find a toad. He was actually going to drive away, but his car was towed. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. So sorry for that. So, basically then Malcolm ends up snapping, finding out, that she had a shawl from the mother's effects. So he decides to lock her in the basement like he did to the mother, it turns out, and also burn all the stuff. He knows Sam is lying, but he can't prove it. And they go into the woods, the kids do, and teens, actually they're technically teens, but they find the wolf skull. And then they find a wolf that seemingly is in the same shot as them, kinda, also not really. And his poke at him with a stick, and then eventually he leaves. I guess it was a beautiful wolf. And there we are. The damn wolf just wanted his father's skull back, and then Malcolm basically is all kinds of upset, but he tries to make amends with her, and then talks about in Chapter 5, Current of Evil, realizing that Lily has powers just like her mother, that she can summon winds of change, shrieking scorpion noises, and Ida apologizes for the issues at the funeral, because at the funeral, part I kind of skipped over because it was just, it was there, the mother-in-law and Malcolm kind of had a bit of a tizzy, shall we say. Mother-in-law blamed him for taking Isabel away from from her family, which he did technically, but she was stricken. She was stricken and infected. And that's what he's worried about with Lily. He gets close to him. I don't know why we need to see Martin Freeman like that, but whatever. And then she says, I'm not trying to make a move on your dad, but women need to know their place, and Roosevelt is going to become president, but also we, may hem their pants, but we're never going to be able to wear them. I mean, yes, women were held down at this point. I think they only got a chance to vote, recently, as far as, this timeline goes, but still. And then the way to get the owl's feather is to basically play violin music to the point you annoy the fuck out of it, I guess. Even though there's good violin music in this, the owl's getting frustrated, and instead of who cooks for you, it decides to basically just shed a feather that Lily is able to capture. And then Sam basically is like, talking to Lily about like traveling the train tracks and that kind of stuff. Getting to another place, you can, instead of traveling by car, you can sleep on the train, travel while you sleep. And, well, Sam, I love you. It's like, no, we're not going to, why are you saying it like that? We're not going to die. They don't, but, the implication is there, I guess. And they go to the witch, except there's Arvin. And, yeah, Arvin instantly says that Lily, looks nice in one of the creepiest ways possible. I mean, credit to the actor. I'm not saying the actor's actually like that, but credit to him, because that made my skin crawl. And there's an old lady witch, and basically it's $1 silver for a potion. Why would she need why would she need money like that if she's a witch? So, cook the 3 things. A toad also gets cooked. Oh well, he's feeling froggy. And then she takes some of the ash and ends up spilling a bunch of it, more of it outside the jar than inside the jar. I spilled a bunch of ash and we cut, keep rolling. Really? And some lemongrass tea because you're eyeing that lemon drink. And basically Lily ends up drinking this. The lady, it turns out, actually was a midwife that brought them into the world, but the mother was very much alive when that was done, poking holes in Martin Malcolm's story. Well, now Sam must move the bootleg whiskey. And then the old lady basically just ends up saying, yeah, Arvin was really eyeing your sister. And then he drops a box, takes a jar, and bashes him over the head with it. And then the lady's going to shoot them. And then the wolf shows up. This all happens very quickly, by the way. I mean, you might think I'm rushing through stuff. No, this all happens really, really quickly. And all this just so Arvin could do that. I don't get it. So the wolf kills the old broad, and then we get Death in Family, where basically Ida has pretty much almost moved in the goddamn house. George has disappeared. And the idea is they're gonna find a way to get back at everybody. So she drugs Ida's coffee. Malcolm basically makes her room into a room of prayer. And, the mother actually, got the flu, the Spanish flu. Lines up with the time that the children ended up, being born. And that, that's what happened. But Ida is totally fucked up and drugged. And then a breeze blows one of, the tools right into the back of Martin Freeman, who was a piece of shit, by the way. Just want to say, and not the man himself, but the character. And he dies. And then the kids basically take off for the Rose City Conservatory. Yeah, that's it. That is Queen of Bones. That is it. Yeah, I'm sorry. Atmospheric to an extent, but ultimately boring, and I'm sorry, it's just not that interesting. And that's actually what made me knock it down like a little bit of the star and a gray rating. So yeah, F, unfortunately. I've seen worse, but I was bored. Agree, disagree, what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter, Letterboxd, Blue Sky handles in the description. I'm John Rentlin, and until we see the Queen of Bones again, hopefully never, happy trails to you.